Welcome, everyone, to the Town of Charlestown's working meeting. We have a quorum tonight, and if we could stand to do the pledge of allegiance, I'm going to ask him to lead us. As pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Business, even though it says none. We got some thank you notes, and one I got to do the last time. This is from Young at Heart, and they thanked us so much for the donation. If you guys did that. And we also got a thank you from the Salute to Cecil for the donation that we did for that as well. Okay. Ken, we do have a new microphone, so we have a learning curve. We're learning some things about it right now. So please bear with the teams. The emergency plans, did you want to bring that up? This is a very, very rough draft. We actually borrowed Terry those because they just did theirs not that long ago.
Sure.
Yeah. And Ken, I'll give it to you.
Okay. So it's a very, very rough draft. I took mostly what they had in theirs, in their like prefix and put it right into ours because it literally is basically the same. Talks about, all the departments that might be part of us, types of emergency conditions we have, state of emergencies. Then we go down and we start breaking it out into what types of emergencies we have that we could have. And then we talk about like our little breakout events. Let me see if I can. I'm trying.
Keep going.
I'm going.
Yeah, okay. So, this is why Frederick didn't get the book right away, because the way NEMA is written, it has to be 3 or more counties, and it was just them.
Yeah.
So,
Or
might
under
be-
towns.
it might be, something that we need to kind of reach out to NEMA and as we work on things and talk to Cecil County's DES about that might have to change in a way, because if it is only dealing with a certain area, it's not gonna meet the criteria.
We have received FEMA money in town before, the repetitive loss house on Route 7, where we got FEMA money to tear it down and turn it into essentially just raw land. We can make a park or whatever. And then we have the one right here at the corner of Baltimore or in Cecil and Market Street. That's a repetitive loss house also. So we could potentially try to go after that one at some point in the future. But yeah, so I'll go down to this portion. Disregard the yellow highlights. That's me placekeeping until I can get a procedure that looks right and I can take those highlights around. But these are the ones that I've addressed so far: blizzard, high winds, fire, flooding, hurricanes, ice storms, terrorism, tornadoes, and water shortages. And some of these are going to fall underneath the same purview because we do almost exactly the same no matter which one it is. Like weather events, they're all going to fall pretty much exactly the same. Let's see if I can get it to go. So then it breaks out to like, here's your general response plan, communications, activation, and readiness. Perryville's is kind of unique. They have it to where they only communicate every 12 hours. We thought that might have been a little expansive, so we shortened it to every 4 hours. And just, keep in mind that is a minimum. If, things are really going crazy and really going bad in a hurry, don't expect me to wait 4 hours before I ask for more help. I'm sinking here. Please send me a raft. The command center, most of the time it's going to be here. Okay. However, sometimes it might be at the fire department. Sometimes we might have to come up with something totally out of the ordinary based off of what the event we have. So think about if we had a train derailment up here by Cooper's Bridge and the predominant wind brings all the bad stuff right over top of town hall and the fire department. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be in the middle of a chlorine gas cloud, just because it says we're supposed to be here. So that part of it's going to be flexible, but primarily it's going to be here or there. So we talked about evacuations. I have to reach out to the school and to everybody else to figure out where our, like maybe an assembly area is for our evacuations. We don't necessarily know that the school is in our evacuation spot. So I have to reach and talk to the principal and to Cecil County to see what.
When Isabel happened, the after action response to that was because of Red Drum and cutting off that side of town. They said the fire company wanted to put a unit at the school so that there was something on that side as well as on this side. So I know Katie was allowing it, but I'm not sure. We got to talk to Stacy to make sure that they'll do it or the school hasn't changed their rules. But I know like Perryville, when they did their tabletop exercise because of the train derailment, it wasn't in town. The evacuation was at first it was going to be Food Line in Perryville, but then it became Wellwood as a command center, and they had people evacuating up to Food Line as a base in Northeast. So that's things that we have to look at.
Yeah. So part of it for me is I have to go through and update the emergency contact numbers every quarter. And as things get updated, all the stakeholders get a new copy of our procedure, which would mean everybody sitting at the table here would have a fresh, brand new copy in a binder. That way, in the event that one of you becomes the incident commander for a while, you would have the tear sheets and stuff to pull out of. Exercises. So anybody that's ever been involved in any type of emergency response knows that, tabletop exercises are basically where you sit down and you talk out the event. This is what I'm going to do if this event happens, and this is who's going to do this type of stuff. Primarily, when you do those types of events, you're going to find some gaps that you identified, and this is where you want to find them, that this is a problem with our response plan so we can fix it before bad things happen and we have no idea what we're doing. And this can be just as simple as all of us sitting around a table talking about our own internal response plan, or it can be as large as all of our stakeholders, the county, the state, our small ones, Amtrak, Norfolk Southern, whoever is going to be possibly involved. We can sit down and have a tabletop with them. The functional exercises are predominantly what's going to happen in town. So we can set up a scenario and have Bobby's guys run around and set up roadblocks and signs and take down flags and put up barriers and just see how that works. And if there's a hole there, then we can fix that and get them more training if they need it. And then the big one is the one that you never, ever really want to fail. And that's the full scale exercises. That's everybody involved, state, county, National Guard, whoever they decide to invite to this scenario is where this is game on. This is the real event, even though it might not be a real event. And just remember, no matter what we do, we're always going to have something to learn from and make our program better. And this will be a big critique. I would imagine a critique of this will be a full day after the event.
We're also going to be looking at the agencies and make sure that the correct names are there. That was just a copy and paste. And of course, we're going to add Perryville.
Yeah.
Perryville was on it because it was Perryville.
It's Perryville's procedure. So this is where we broke out, we classify weather events pretty much all the same. You know, obviously we're not plowing during a flooding event, but we're still doing most of the same things. We're not salting during a flooding event, but we're still doing some of the same things. The maintenance guys have the exact same response regardless, minus the plowing, or still putting up signs. They're still trying to manage it. The fire is kind of unique because this is probably the one and only event that we have in town to where, you know, we may not be the primary command center. It's going to end up probably being the Charlestown Fire Department taking the lead on that, and we would provide them with support. And what I mean by the support is our water tower is getting really low in water, and you need to stop using our hydrant system and start drafting off of the river. Which we kind of ran into that last year during, you know, Larry's event. So that's where Bobby or whomever has a sense of phone access would be responsible to contact Charlestown. Primarily it's Bobby, but it could be me, and I have access to that. And whomever else.
Bobby's back connected.
He's connected. Yeah. We got him back.
Yeah.
Go through all these, but the terrorism and cybersecurity is a very unique one because most likely we're going to be notified by an outside agency that we have an event. If we happen to be the unlucky soul that walks across, you know, a terrorism event or a suspected device or something else, then it kind of gets a little tricky there because our guys aren't trained on what to do. They need to be trained on what to do with that type of stuff. And I can find that training for them, but ideally it's going to be an outside person that notifies us. And I think.
Will that happen there if in case of the water and any of that kind of stuff on there too?
Yeah, we'll have all that stuff.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah, fire away.
When does, and I'm just asking for knowledge, maybe take back with me. When does,
I'm sorry, can you let everybody else have you?
oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading. So I've, recently, left my job, and so I get to now travel with Erica and her endeavors. So, it's pretty exciting when she asked me to go to other houses and, county meetings and stuff, so it's pretty interesting, and I never know if I'm allowed to talk or not. Ours is pretty open, you can ask at any time.
You're from another town, so we'll, yeah.
Yes, exactly. I think this is pretty interesting. There's a lot there that, I think I've been involved in many floods. I've been there, for 32 years. I live right on the river, next to Lee's Landing. Ours has always been flooding, emergency plan flooding. It's always been the fire department saying a lot of other things, but then Cecil County EMS, Cecil County is always taking care of the big picture of putting people where they need to be. And the derailment has never came up in any of our discussions. I mean, and we're, yeah. So looking at your plan, so when, I mean, I understand that you want to have these things in place, and I get all that, but I guess when Cecil County walks in and goes, no, we're in charge now. And that's when the one part he was saying about other people, entities coming in. How are you guys thinking of that role? I mean, that just to add something to your thoughts there. I'm not looking for an answer, but if this is preliminary, where does that?
Richard, myself, and Rob went to the train derailment tabletop exercise down at Perryville. So, there is, and I went, and so I'm sorry, you are. It means to exclude you. But yes, and initially it is the town, and then the town is still involved. But when the other more subject experts become involved, they're the ones that kind of take over, and they're more of the top of the. And we are more of the standback. If there is a train derailment, that is more with the fire department. That is, that would be Amtrak. That would be,
CSX.
yeah. Well, one thing we learned with that is if it's a CSX train on an Amtrak track, it's still an Amtrak event.
Okay. Those, we don't have Amtrak, we only have,
More folks on.
yeah, no.
Yeah. So there is, freight that comes through here at night. So if that's around, it'd still be considered an Amtrak event. CSX will be here, but it's still considered an Amtrak event. So there's a lot gone to these tabletop exercises. You learn a lot. But I understand what you're saying, that yes, they will step in. And we are just more of, do you have this? Do you have this? But we have to follow what they
I
say.
think our biggest event that got kind of crazy is, gosh, I believe it was 2012. We had a tanker come down a hill
I remember.
and turned over. And actually it was like right next to me, not anything right there. But anyway, my late husband looked out, he was a boom, he looked out and saw the towers up in the air. I was like, oh, this ain't good. But I know that Richard Brooks at the time, Richard was down there within minutes of controlling the scene. So you know what, having plans in place, I always worry, and I tell our fire department, with Lee's Landing and that boardwalk, 2 trucks have gone down that boardwalk before they built that boardwalk. My biggest fear is now that it's a boardwalk and you have hundreds of people in there, what are we doing to kind of put something in place so we don't have a mass casualty? And I've brought that up many times, but Jamie, you want to put me in this paper part?
Is.
I know, right? This big something ain't working out. He's taking them all. And this is not quite as strong either. Yeah, so that was one of mine. Do like the same kind of thing. What do we got in place and how we,
And even when we complete this, because we're gonna be talking to our company and to our businesses, but this is still a work in progress. So, and like, we had one last year or the year before, the bomb that was over here.
Yeah.
That shut the whole
Yeah.
center of town down. So, that wasn't us, that was the police department, but it's still, we put out the communication, please stay away from the center of town. This is a working police activity, and that's all we put out. So I understand there's different circumstances that could happen at any time, but this is,
I like it. I do, I like it. I mean, that's I guess I never thought of those other things.
yeah, going to MML, going to the,
I do.
Yeah.
I've been all
I've been
that.
going to, every year I've been going to these classes, so.
Okay, I haven't been to any of those.
And it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, MML, like the conferences are, you put a lot in those few days.
Yes. They usually have them on Sunday,
These,
yeah, they usually have it like Sunday afternoon, but
I figure out when it is.
doing it for the past couple of years. This year it was dealing with cyber, and the water system, so, yeah, it's mind opening.
Yeah.
And things that you don't think about, so it's.
If you could email me.
If you have a card that you give Ken,
No, I do not, but I give you even.
okay, we'll give it then. Go ahead, Coach, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Um,
I'm always open to feedback. We're good. See what else. Basically, they all go down the same path. I think that's the end of it. When I get done with all of this, Perryville has attachments attachments are all well and good. I like to have what I call tear sheets to where, okay, we got a terrorism event. You go to that section, you pull out your terrorism event checkoff sheet, and it's basically, did I call Jackie? Yes, I called Jackie. Did I call Rob? Yes, I called Rob. Did I call the more important people, like the people that are going to come and take care of the bomb for us? Oh, wait a minute, I forgot to do that. Let's take care of that real quick. So it just keeps us, it's almost like scribing your own event without having a scribe for you. And it worked well in my past life, and I think it would work well here. But when I get all that done, it'll be sent out to everybody for you to red pen the crap out of, and we'll make a better product. So,
The fact of Ken saying it, this is gonna be not only a digital document, but it's also gonna be a book for all of us.
Right.
Because electricity goes off, so this isn't, can't be doing all these all the time. So, and the fact that we can just rip it out, we can have it there. I know that I've been through tabletop exercises, and the scribe is writing down everything because the person, the command is speaking and not necessarily quite always remembering everything. So you can look back and say, oh yeah, I did do that. Is there any further? Maybe you want to say?
Add on to it. Don't have something in
yeah,
effect to take care of it, and as always, expect the experts to come in, and that's who we back up. Basically, common sense. Whoever deals with this, with more
Yeah.
common basis, we would just follow the lead.
Is that the, that tabletop exercise? Yeah, it was-
Everybody stepped in. Yes.
yeah. The town administrator was sitting up there, but the town administrator only had a little bit of a role of being there if needed. It was for the fire department and DES and whichever, all three of the train, or both train stations were there for that one.
I
But
would imagine with the first, like any event, the first 15 to 30 minutes is going to be all the town until somebody gets here to help us. Then once we get here, we'll defer to them, and we'll just be support activities from there on.
Would there be, I don't know if this is would they have different signals from the firehouse that would say, train derailment dismayed, something like that?
what
That way people could know.
we could talk to them about that, but what they said was, they would actually drive around with the trucks, and they would start saying this, we need to go back to, go back to, we need. So being that our town is only 2 square miles, that wouldn't take too much, and the fact that they're sending that signal plus they're speaking. And I guess after that, if needed, they would start, if needed, to be door to door.
I mean, we could put a scan if we wanted to. If that bell goes off, you turn the scanner on, and it tells you what type of an emergency. It won't pick up the police scanners, but it'll pick up EMS. So, yeah.
Are we still getting something with text or some way to send out to all the residents, something like a quick?
It's back up and working.
Yeah.
Can you-
Notification.
Oh, that's the app.
Yeah, she got into that. I have constant contact. So between the two of us, we can pretty much contact everybody within 2 minutes.
Also asked, because the mayor from North Beach was asking for something that we just started doing. So while I was on her web page, looking up, we have register for text alert, and I'm like, contact them to see what that is, so that if this is something that we should be doing instead of the app, it's that contract's getting ready to come up again. So it's just different ways, especially for the texting. But then again, depending on what the event is, texting isn't going to work either, and neither is electronic.
I got 3 texts for that incident.
Emails. I'm on their third red thing, says I'm at the base.
So it works very well.
I don't know if the end of the neighborhood or the backside does, but I do.
Is there any further discussion? Thank you, Ken, for
And it's looking
working.
good.
I appreciate that.
And put the notes section in there, made everything smaller, so. Those of you that are vision impaired like me, I really, when I looked at it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know that,
I promise that the actual procedure will be much bolder.
go forward that all documents look like.
Yeah.
So, similar to what I do at work, with the AR 2150, which is the Army way, write things. That's wonky, that was I saw.
Yeah.
But I know this is there, but they're gonna work on how to make sure going forward that we have everything looking
Yeah.
uniform. Okay, your turn, Kim.
Alrighty. So just wanted to give you guys just like a brief update. This is
It's got
most of the hand, yeah. Just a little bit, right?
Those are all blank paper.
No, in between, right. As I've been going, I've just been adding and, I've had to look up different regulations and, like I had said before, we pulled from Ocean City, but tailoring it to us and what we do. So some things I still have to go in, like the emergency plan, as we put that together, then I will add to this. I'm not gonna include the whole thing, but I can link things in here that are important. So still working on it, and I just printed this out and I'm like each page going through and fine tuning some things I didn't catch that I'm adding to or taking away from. But for the most part, this is pretty much together. Some things when it comes to like the life insurance or 401k, those little tidbit informational things I still need to include in here as I get more information. But just like as an update that this is pretty much it, it'll be added. Some more will be added as I go through. But SOPs will also be included once I go over this more, and can link the things in here, like for Lincoln Financial, for example. I have the link included so that people can just tap right into that. So just wanted to provide an update. If you guys want to pass it around, you're more than welcome to. Yeah. But this is pretty much it. And Ken and I still have to go over it together, but I at least wanted to give an update. As well as, like Renee had mentioned, I can now get into the app, so I can make those updates and I can put out anything that needs to go out, as well as the Charlestown drift. So I did want to work on that for next quarter. So just updating you with that as well.
Nice.
Always there.
Yeah. I know.
Getting there.
We're
The
catching up.
The other thing that she's gonna be putting in there is step increases instead of like, this year you get this, and then maybe I think it's like year 4, then you wait 2 years to get one, and then
Okay,
it's, you wait out,
Then we have,
okay?
Yeah.
Whereas it's a
Right.
fine
Yeah,
thing,
plan.
instead of just going,
Yeah.
flipping a coin and.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Pay
pay grades, uniforms, all those things that we like attendance that we just really need to fine tune.
yes,
We're still working on and building, but at least we know that's going to be in there.
Yeah. I mean, that will actually help with personnel issues.
Right.
When things are defined, then, yes, yeah, good. That's excellent.
Is there anything in there where people could get, yearly, where they get like a merit rate?
We're working on that.
And
Performance reviews.
Yeah, we're working on that.
that way you don't have to wait if somebody stepped up in this past 6 months.
Correct.
You deserve a merit.
Yeah, we're working on that. I kind of borrowed that from somebody else, but it works. We just have to tune it to make it our own.
And we did making sure that the job descriptions are up to current, and all that. So I know some of the job descriptions were just borrowed from somewhere, but it's not necessarily what people are actually doing.
Right.
So, and just like even at the federal government, this is a job description. I don't do anything that's on there. So, it needs to be updated, and that's something that as we go forward, if they need to be updated, we can.
Yes, and that's one thing that Ken and I discussed, for example, like the maintenance. you have a maintenance supervisor, maintenance 1, maintenance 2. So if you're starting at like entry level, let's say you're maintenance 1, what are the things that can work you up to get to maintenance 2? So that can also include into the performance reviews and things like that. So we're not just starting everyone on the same level, but also giving them something to, you know, for an increase. We can provide reasoning for them getting those increases.
Makes it aspirational.
Correct.
Yeah, great.
Anybody have anything?
Seems like you've
Yeah.
kind of done this.
It's too good.
Mine's a little bit more cavemanish, he's more refined. And I'm okay with that.
As long as we work together.
We can.
That's-
And believe it or not, that's exactly how I know Kathy keeping it all together.
Yes.
Love it. The new truck,
Just want to give an update. I have, quite honestly, I have us a truck.
We're not driving.
You go help me pick it up tomorrow? I mean, it's that, all I had to do is provide them with, you know, the fact that I'm able to sign for the truck because the resolution and that we need to provide them with insurance. Then we have to show up with a paycheck and give them money. Truck's ours. So.
What kind of truck?
I need to sign it after anything.
Yeah, we'll need to sign a check.
Yeah.
It
Can
won't
I tomorrow?
tomorrow, probably.
Okay.
It is a Ford F-550 crew cab, 4-wheel drive, stake body dump bed. The stake body is more like a dumpster instead of rails that you can pull off. It has a
That's
sub,
not
it's already there. I bought it as a whole unit. The only thing we have to get Moxley's to do is put our lift gate on it. We've already got that priced out. If we, with that and we're gonna repurpose the plow, we fall in well under the 95 that we budgeted for.
Sure.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I was
Can we get the deluxe mats if we have a little extra money?
probably. We can embroider your name on the one side if you'd like. Maybe even a steering wheel wrap if we want. But so, yeah, it's a done deal. All we have to do is show up with the money.
how much is it?
86-1 out the door.
All better fits on it.
It'll get right in. All we have to do is lift the dump bed doors off. And, or a pen on the side. They have pens that'll go on the side. This thing literally looks like a dumpster on wheels.
And when the when the Charlestown seal gets put on the side door, can somebody please hold a level? Always.
They were put down there.
Yeah.
You say to the,
The lift gate is like 8,500, so we'll still be about $1,000 underneath the 95.
Awesome.
It's a lot easier to shop when it's not your money, by the way.
what color is the truck?
White?
White insurance.
And that's in 25?
Yep. 2025.
Gas or diesel?
The guys wanted gas.
And I made Ken promise that when we replace the pickup truck, that it's white too, so we have a fleet. I'm watching fleet.
Just some random.
We get that one.
We can pick it up tomorrow if we want to.
Just for reference, now that we are starting to clean out the storm drains, I don't know if we talked about this last time. Issues are coming off. It's working too well now. And some of the issues that happened a long time ago, that's over near, Lee's Marina. Water's coming down there and it's flooding right there because it's not going the way it's supposed to. We're gonna be looking at how we can deter the water, because what it's doing is it's coming across the road and it's going past Patsy and Roger's house and going down over the hill into the building of Lee's. So,
Yeah.
so we need to
Yeah.
or the water to go the other way. So this is part of what we're finding, that as we do this,
Stuff's gonna come up.
Water goes the easiest route.
we resist this.
So-
So yes, and it went there before. It's just, I guess, because of how things caught them, which was on the other side of more towards Avalon. That's where that ditch is. So, but that's more where it should be. So, and we also don't want it to flood out anything with the fire company either. We're gonna talk about the water audit and the phone call that Ken and I had with people. Go ahead.
Okay, so everybody got a copy of the water audit I sent out, so we'll just go over some of the key points. So we got Dewberry on the line, we got AC Schulte. We had M. Davis on the line, and Miller kind of chimed in a little bit, but they weren't really on the phone with us. They just gave me some of their expertise. So what we found out, we'll just start with the tower. The reason the water tower doesn't fill all the way up was when Cool Springs was built. The commissioners at the time decided that all that water pressure on that tower might cause some problems with the water lines over there, which is why they put the reducers on everybody's lines. So they lowered the tank level and then put reducers on all the lines, which is why some people over there don't have water pressure for anything. So Miller seems to believe that, and it was Joe that was the one recalling this. He's like, that's why we did it. We asked them to lower the tank level because of the pressures that were going to be created closer to the tower. So it would be like 65 PSI coming through the pipes instead of over at Cool Springs, it's like 40. We can actually increase somewhat the water tank level. I don't know that we would ever get to the full 500, but I think we could probably get another foot or two of level out of that, which is about 30 to 40,000 gallons. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that's about 2 hours worth of water. Makes a big deal whenever you have an event going on. One of the other things that we had talked about was well 3. So well 3 in the discussion with AC Schulte, they believe that well can probably be reestablished. They're giving me a price right now on how to reestablish that well. The last time they went in and did an inspection, the reason they weren't pumping the water out of that well the way they expected is all the screens were clogged. So instead of doing,
Lower a little bit.
yeah, just a little. So the reasoning behind them shutting that well down at the time, I think, was more about money and the fact that we already had 2 functioning wells, and we only had 750 people in town at the time, so we had more than enough water to survive any type of event. So once I get that back, I think it would be wise for us to invest the money and have them do an investigation on that well, because if we can put well 3 back in service for say $100,000 with reestablishing it is a heck of a lot cheaper than $5 million for a tower and a well and everything else.
Absolutely.
And they're saying that was coming in at 80 gallons a minute.
That originally was 80, and then they said the last time they tested it was at like 45, but that was with clogged screens.
Yeah.
So they truly honestly believe that if we investigate it, there might be a viable well there for at least, it might not be 100 gallons a minute, but it might be 80, 85.
Mhm.
So it's
substantial.
280 a minute back up
Yeah.
into the tower.
So it's definitely worth the shot, and it's definitely, if we want to talk about spending our money wisely, I think that's a lot more wise than trying to drill a new well right off the top. I mean, that was really it. We wanted to do like a static study from Dewberry. I think instead of spending money on that first, I would rather see what AC Schulte can come up with on the well,
Mhm.
because either way, it's going to cost us money. this was nothing more than a study on, whether or not we can raise the tank level and get more water out of it, as to where we know if we can get the well back in service, that gives us a lot more volume of water to come back in.
So Kim, there's someone actually said, and that the pipes at the Cool Springs could not handle.
That was an AECOM thing. AECOM is the one that convinced them that,
What do we?
But now Jackie in the past has said you don't have good water pressure, right?
Well, I have said that. We've had our reducer removed and we just last week replaced our pressure regulating valve, which increased our pressure upstairs.
Mhm.
We
Well-
haven't tested it since.
I mean, were flow restrictors put in all the houses
That's a,
based
Oh,
on
oh.
this?
that's a season.
Well, but the president just signed an executive order, getting rid of flow restrictors.
Well,
So we
resident,
should-
the power.
We
did-
should look into that,
But the
Yeah.
season.
right?
To inspect.
Oh, the building inspector, huh?
So
Okay. Yeah.
just know that's not part of the equation.
Mhm.
But I haven't tested it with a house full of people with a, dishwasher and a washer and
Yeah.
a shower and all that going on. Mhm. Yeah, that's not an issue. That's what it said at coming into the
This is
house.
part of what we understand, even though that's. We put a restrictor before it comes in. Inside.
And then
But
another
it's
restrictor.
So you have a double restrictor going in
Yeah.
the house, which lowers water pressure.
Yeah, it has to.
But it's
houses,
still 65.
there's houses over there that you turn the outside hose bib on and it trickles. I can't even do a flow test on. It's how little water comes out their hose bib.
They should take it in.
Yeah, I've told them to have a plumber look at it. I'm not telling them to pull it out. Have a plumber look and see if you have this and take their recommendation.
On the season county plumbing regulation. But that is something that I don't know how to get around because that's the
Yeah.
regulation plumbing, even though we have one there. And so they're getting two restrictors.
Yeah.
Why would Cecil County tell you on your own water system what you can do? It's not their water.
Because you go there to get a permit to put,
Well,
We
they
don't-
own everybody
we don't
else's
confirm.
water.
no.
They're involved in all.
When you go to the building, you know, Cecil County, doing structural, plumbing, heating, electrical. But one should have fought back. I would have never had it. So I don't care who said
The
it.
other
Yeah.
thing that was brought up in the study. Because we added generators, that is a big plus on our side, because before it was like if the electric goes off,
Right.
this is all you have. But because we have the generators now, that's helping to keep the system going. The other thing it was talking about is for us to buy an extra
Backup.
a backup to have at the shop, so if
Yes.
our pumps go down, we can just lower it. And the other thing was, because they only want us to have 10% unaccountable water, so when we're doing the hydrant flushing and all that, they want us to put portable meters at the fire hydrants so that we're tracking how much water is going. But we are on the right track. We are a lot better than I thought.
But what you found out, does that mean they were being cautious about putting too much water in the tower? Can we put more water in the tower and rest assured that we're not putting too much pressure on the pipes and the springs,
We think,
pool spring?
we
Yeah.
think so. We think
Yeah.
we can probably pull it up to like maybe 475 or the full 500. And it
Okay.
just, that will put you at like 64 pounds based off of tank level indicator over there.
Yeah,
And that would just be having, I guess it's M. Davis to come out and have to help us adjust our tank level settings.
right.
Is that
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
That's on the
right.
payment.
So,
Well, that's worth doing too.
and the other thing that was talked about, with the last water leak that we had, is, and I, Ken did send that out, to have the valves, especially the 10-inch
Mhm.
valves, because that's 6 months to order.
Mhm.
So, we're borrowing time for that. And I said, and Rob was talking to Bobby too, that, we can have one of those in stock instead of, because I don't think we can go to our residents and say, I'm sorry.
It's gonna be 30 days.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
30 days to get hot water.
Run it down.
Yeah.
I was also thinking instead of like even the 6-inch ones, right now we're running down to Middletown to go get them. We want some of those to be on stock here too.
I have them.
You do have more? Yeah, good. Excellent.
But I just wanted us to have that discussion on what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then for next year's budget, I agree with what Bobby was saying about is start doing this smart valves that can detect where things are going. It's not that we can do the whole town at one time, but we need to pick a vulnerable part of our town, which seems to be this end. So, that way we can at least get that in there, and get that started. This side of town,
Outside the order. Or,
this figure.
or. I just want to make sure that we pick a side. They're not saying all of the, we are favoring one side of town. That we want
This is
to
the
believe
oldest.
required, I mean,
That's a little bit,
Writing.
Yeah.
Required.
We need to replace the line out front of Wellwood anyhow.
Yeah.
We patched a 4-foot section of it. Leco basically said that that pipe's min wall thickness is about half of what it came factory from. So means that
Another matter of time.
it's just a matter of time before we spring another leak.
Yeah. But on the second leak, they didn't have the pipe to do it or something, and we couldn't do the whole thing then,
Well,
or?
we had to shut down. We had to dig up Wellwood's
Oh, I
driveway.
see.
So
Okay,
we could have went from bell to bell, which is like 20 feet.
yeah,
But that would have still been, it would have kept Larry out of business for the better part of that day.
that would be something. And Charlestown Arena, because we're shutting down, so that would be a scheduled.
Yeah.
I think, doesn't Larry close?
So he's on Mondays.
Well, but he closes also, I think, in the winter.
Yeah, which.
Yeah.
I talked to Larry, he came in, said we wouldn't do it until we scheduled it. With you to make sure we schedule it to impact your business as little as possible.
Yeah,
And he was good with that.
yes,
And I've been talking about it. He was very appreciative that we opened with him. That was a weird leak. We drove around for quite some time looking for it. Because it was going into the storm drain and then it was going straight into the river. So it wasn't like it was a really noticeable that we had a whole bunch of. So, interesting. So just want to let everybody know what we're doing with that. This is not on the agenda, but do you remember Think Big? Okay. I have been trying to get hold of them for 2 months, okay? I have emailed them, I have texted Mark, yesterday, we called down there, okay? My next step is to go, okay? When we called, we clicked the button that said Cecil and Hartford County. I clicked that. Person said, oh, that's not my jurisdiction. And I was like, okay, does Mark still work there? Oh, yes. Can you have Mark call? Because we've been trying to do this for quite some time. And that's where, so I don't know where to go with it.
have they done
They haven't
stuff they
done
were gonna
anything.
do in Elkton, and because that's kind of why they came to us, because they said they were gonna do Elkton, and yeah,
Yeah.
and they haven't done anything. I saw a big a truck at Lowe's last week, and that made me think about it. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they I'm not sure what's going on. And in fact, the person we talked to, it was a weird conversation. In fact, Chris and everybody kind of laughing at the conversation because it was on speaker. We asked, because she said, I'll get him to call you. I said, can you call today? That still hasn't happened. So I don't know what the deal is, and I know our residents want it. Been asking about it, and I just wanted to give you guys an update on it. So if anybody asked you about it, this is.
Actually, Dan asked me about Sunday. That it's coming, I just, you know.
So I think I'm going to test it now on my next. Drive. I will not be taking off my normal day. Because I have training.
The office Monday.
In 2 weeks.
That's right. So you'll be off.
So you'll have 3 Mondays in a row.
No. Well, yes, I will. I won't, because the 8th I'll be in training. That's my normal day. I know.
I did every day on.
Like me.
So I just want to give you a running thing with that. I will be posting just next week about getting people to volunteer for the citizen advisory. We already have one person that is going to be part of that for our stormwater, to discuss about fees and anything else about stormwater. That's we as commissioners can attend, but we cannot.
Right, okay.
I'm good at that.
Not speaking. Right. So, round table. Ken, do you have any last words on?
The signs were ordered today for the bulkhead to say, don't jump. So.
You know,
Sounds like anti-suicide.
It said, I can't remember exactly what it was. Jumping from bulkhead is strictly prohibited.
And then the next thing is, we didn't jump, we just kind of fell in.
I have, thank you. I've had people at work come up and go, so they're reading it.
Which one are we talking about?
Jumping off of the riprap.
Oh,
here.
oh, that one, okay.
Yes, so, I've had a lot of people at work saying, talking to me about it. I said, yes. Good. Anything else? Kathy?
Veterans Park, is that taken care of yet with, plumbing?
Our Veterans Park is good. There's a permit in place for Charlestown Marina to do their grinder pump, and it's scheduled to be done before, well, it's supposed to be done before Labor Day. So I have to reach out to them tomorrow and figure out what the heck's going on, because I issued the permit in the beginning of August.
We're waiting for the question. So, and we all know that.
The lateral for the grinder pump.
Okay, so we are moving forward.
Yeah.
Yep, I got the permit issued so far.
That's important.
Anything?
Excellent.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody saw that Byron did download the edited copy of.
You're not jumping off the bulkhead?
Nobody, yeah, same thing we saw, but it turned out it was good.
We put it out. Facebook stuff, so. I will tell you, the book today, it's 1,600 people that have looked at it so far, so.
I did have somebody come up to me and ask me a question. At Avalon, they are wondering if there's any way that like a, lack of a better word, like a big pontoon and down to Lake Lee. Actually just go down there and hop on the boat and leave. And then once it's down there, possibly could have like a small area dredge that the state would be able to pay for. These are things that have been brought to my attention by other people. It could just be a small pontoon boat. You drive it into the bed, and then during the winter time, you can take it back up.
The state actually, they came out like 10 years ago, and I'm glad that you're bringing that up. They came out like 10 years ago to do a handicap thing, and it was for kayaks, but there was still a portion that could happen. So people with handicap that were on kayaks would actually bring it up, and it would lift them out of the water so that they could do that. They were going to design it. They were going to give us money for it. So it's something that we can.
Great to all, and maybe help the traffic jam here.
Dredging, I don't know.
Dredging would be something I think that we would ask for once it's something that's in place. Possibly. That's kind of, it'll be, up towards the end. But, and I'm sure that the people who are using it, you can probably say, an additional $10 fee or something down there to help. But I don't know if there's money left from.
Vegetation. So,
It'd have to be right there at the bulkhead that's existing.
I think about it being, the state was looking at it because it's deeper. Right there.
Right there. Just something I think like 4 different residents came said something.
And you went before I opened it up.
Yeah, well, no, I
Sorry.
don't really have anything big, but I talked to Andy, Saturday after his show. He said he had about 60 to 70 people. He was quite pleased with the attendance, and enthusiastic going forward. And the dunking booth.
Is the next.
Because I had another event, I had something I had to do, and I rushed over there when I got done.
On the help.
I did, thinking that it might still be there and I could do it. And then he says, well, God bless you.
I made it back from, I bought tickets for something else, so I couldn't be there, but I got back as they were cleaning up, and I just,
Yeah.
he was saying that we just got this today.
Oh, cool. Well,
This
that's
is-
nice. Even better graphics. You had graphics before, now it's even better graphics.
So this is for the 20th. I didn't have signal at work, so I will get this uploaded to our Facebook page tonight. Get it out there so that everybody knows that on the 20th. It's gonna be from 12 to 7:30. There is 6 bands that are gonna be playing that day. He told me that he's gonna have some, not only the Fifth Brewery, but he's also gonna have local artists that are gonna be there, and some other family fun that's gonna happen. Bleach is gonna be playing. They're the main ones. They draw a lot of people. And it looks like the Blues Festival will be coming here in the spring. So I think it's great. We have had one complaint by an individual that lives out on 7 that we shouldn't be playing music, that it's too annoying, and that we are only catering to people that are outside of this town. So I haven't quite answered him yet because I just have to, but I'm just telling you that, but he's the same one that was upset when the Osprey built up on the tower. And we couldn't move it, and because it put it right on top of the sensor, it stayed white. So we couldn't touch it, and it was bright. We couldn't touch it until they left. So, I will talk. I'm just letting you know that.
And it's even here, Avalon, on Route 7.
They can't hear Larry.
Yeah, because Larry's music is.
Well, that's what I don't know. I like to like sitting close to it. Did see that. The babies are flying.
Up there.
I think the young parents.
Yeah, you're in big trouble if you move that nest while it's.
Delmarva came twice to knock it down, and then they came to put the fence up and we still built.
I don't know how they were up there because there was not really enough.
It's a little bitty space in between.
Well, it's for fun.
I don't think, the one light on the flagpole, when the flag was creeping down the pole, I guess the wind and the flag knocked the, one of the side lights out of alignment. And so it's just shining right into the pole. So it needs, sometime when, well, I guess we'll have to have a high reach or something to get up there, but it needs to be put back in. Oh, finally.
Every time I go to the top,
Yeah.
They take pictures of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
it was
I had
not-
water running through the back of my hand.
It looked,
Yeah.
it actually looked pretty good the other day when that storm went offshore, but that thing was straight out.
Let me. Then we go. But yeah, eventually we'll there.
Alan. Hi, Alan. Did you have anything to say?
Nope, just right along.
Right along.
Fabulous to listen and hear.
Fabulous to listen and hear.
Missy Nagy's on there.
Miss Melissa, I can't read it.
Missy Nagy.
Missy Nagy, did you have anything?
No.
Okay.
I came to say thank you. I don't know, I was here about a year ago, helping with the Watershed Association.
Oh, right.
Charlestown.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, Jane already listened to this at Elkton, so I'm gonna be shorter. We've been sampling for the last about year and a half. We've been sampling 3 spots, 3 sites within the Charlestown city limits. You guys have been funding us for the lab fees for those sites. So we came first of all to say thank you for that. It's $30 a site, $90 a month. We've sampled from April to November. I hope that you've seen this already because we mailed it out in January to all of the post office boxes. But I did want to pass it around tonight to make sure that you do have a hard copy of it. Okay. We saw an improvement overall in both the Northeast and the Elk watershed last year from a IC cost of B-. We follow the MTAC, Mid-Atlantic Area Assessment Coalition protocols, and we have used our sampling to create a report card at the end of the year. All of our data that we sample is uploaded to the Chesapeake Monitoring website, so that when state, MDE, DNR, EPA uses, they come out. We're audited once a year to confirm that we're doing our sampling in compliance with the tier 2 protocol, so that the different state and federal agencies know what they're getting. They know that we're sampling in the way that they want us to. And so they do use our data when they do this download from the CMC website. We were asked to sample the 3 sites, one on Peddler's Run, one on Fish and Pier, and there's a third one that I don't remember exactly which one it is. There are 2 Charlestown residents that do the sampling for us, Meredith Sutsko and Rhonda Lesh, maybe. So I hope I'm saying it closely. They've been sampling. We have about 13 people throughout the 2 watersheds that go through the training and get recertified every year to continue the sampling. So I'm hopeful that you'll continue that support throughout the year. I have to thank Ken for taking my email out of the blue because he didn't know who I was. So he's kind of trying to reestablish that contact with the town after, we always have turnover. So we'll continue. We're going to continue sampling through the end of the year. And I can send you an invoice, and we list out the dates that we sampled each one of the sites. Says $90 a month. We appreciate the support from the town of Charlestown. We do the same thing with Elkton's and down northeast and Cecil County Stormwater Management. So it's great support. PED, Federal Run, CTN is the right off through there,
Again,
and then CEC.
Okay.
There's a dot on the map, but I'm not positive exactly where that site is. We did talk to Brian, about, like I said, about a year and a half ago. We added 2 sites
okay,
onto the one that we were already doing.
yes,
So that can be incorporated into, I think at that time, there was a watershed implementation plan. There was work that he was doing and those, that data on the site.
we are, we're gonna be redoing, we have stormwater master plan, but we are going to be doing the, going to be updating our ordinance and stuff, so I think it's good, and it looks like clarity fail. Is that because of all the rain we had this year?
It's made a big difference this year. The last 2 years have been improvement because the rain was less. But we just sampled, my wife and I sampled Stony Run, which is right off the Northeast Creek near where we live Sunday. And it is the worst that we've ever seen it for clarity. It's usually one of the best. Now, we also noticed we sampled at high tide. Tide went down, clarity was better. So and you're trying to sample pretty much the same time every month at the same time of the day, keeping in mind that these are volunteers. So,
Yeah.
We have seen, because of the significant rainfall, we have seen a little bit of a decline in some of the metrics, and especially we do, there's some field testing that we do. We take a sample to send to the lab for total nitrogen, total phosphorus, and then the sediment, this course is big parameters of the Chesapeake Bay program that we provide TMDS. So I just wanted to come down and say thank you very much. Just kind of reestablish contact. Hadn't been down there in over a year. And we'll be putting out a 20. We're gonna try to get it out earlier, and it takes some time to put it together and then get it printed. We do a lot of QA on making sure our scores are correct, and then we gotta do it. So, but we do really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mhm. And we are working on towards not having as many nitrates and things. Trying to deter kind of making the water not go straight, but
Slow it down, sink it in. Rain guards, we can get out there. We've been working with Maryland Sea Guard Extension. We just submitted a grant proposal. So the mantra, just try to slow down the runoff, soak again.
we have 2 projects that we have plans in for,
You're up.
stream restoration of Tyler's Run. So the one that comes down, no, sorry, Tyler's Run, Red Drum. It's Red Drum, okay, through the athletic field. So that's gonna help slow some of that down. And the other one is sitting over there on that picture, over there on that desk, which will be the beach that's over here. Kind of slow it down there. So.
It's a tough funding environment, but
So we appreciate everything.
thank you very much. It's good to see everybody again. See, I was quicker.
Did I say you, I'm sorry, do you have anything?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Is there anything else? Yeah,
I
bye.
did have something. See? I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Quickest vote of the month.
Because it sounds like we're done.
Is there a second to
I'll
that?
second it.
All in favor? Thank you, everyone.